Hold up, hold up, hold up. Stop everything. Drop whatever fake smile you were wearing. Put down that mask you've been suffocating behind, because I need you to feel this moment right here, right now. You actually went there, didn't you? That place they warned you about. That forbidden move they begged you not to make. That line they drew in blood and dared you not to cross. But you didn't just cross it, you erased it with your bare hands and laughed. And now look at them. Scrambling, panicking, group chats on fire, emergency meetings at 3 a.m., phone calls that start with heavy breathing and end with, "What have they done?" They're not just scared, they're traumatized by what you've become. Because when they said, "Don't do it," they meant, "Don't expose us." When they said, "That's too far," they meant, "That's too real." When they said, "You'll regret this," what they really meant was, "We'll regret pushing you to this point, but it's too late now, isn't it?" Let's rewind for a second. Remember when you were nice? Remember when you played by their rules? When you colored inside their lines and smiled at their disrespect? You gave them chances wrapped in ribbons, made of your own sanity. First warning came soft, a raised eyebrow, a slight change in your tone. They laughed it off. Look who's trying to be tough. Second warning came harder, distance, silence. They called it a phase. They'll come crawling back, they always do. But they didn't know, did they? They didn't know you were documenting every betrayal, filing every insult, studying their weaknesses while they mocked your kindness. They didn't know that silence wasn't surrender, it was strategy. You were never weak, you were calculating. Every tear was data, every heartbreak was intel. Every time they twisted the knife, you were memorizing the angle. And now, they're realizing their biggest mistake wasn't hurting you. It was teaching you how to hurt. So you did it. That thing that made their blood run cold. Not with violence, not with rage, but with something far more terrifying. Precision. You knew exactly where to apply pressure. Exactly which foundation stone to pull. Maybe it was that truth you dropped in public, the one they thought was buried forever. Maybe it was that person you became, the one they said you could never be. Maybe it was that success you achieved using the very pain they gave you as fuel. Whatever it was, it worked. You felt it, didn't you? That shift in the atmosphere. That moment when their laughter died in their throats. When their eyes went wide and their hands started shaking, when they realized the mouse had become the trap. But here's the beautiful part. That was just the warning shot. That was you testing the waters, flexing muscles they didn't know you had, showing them a glimpse of the monster they created. And their reaction told you everything you needed to know. They begged, didn't they? Please don't do this. We can work this out. That's not who you are. But you smiled that smile. The one that doesn't reach your eyes. The one that says you should have thought of that before. So you did it again, but bigger, bolder, more precise. You took everything they taught you about pain, and you became a master craftsman. You didn't destroy them with chaos. You destroyed them with their own weapons turned inside out. This time you didn't just expose their secrets. You exposed their patterns. You didn't just show their flaws. You revealed their entire blueprint. You became the mirror they couldn't shatter, the echo they couldn't silence, the consequence they couldn't escape. And the beautiful irony? They created this. Every lie they told became your ammunition. Every game they played became your playbook. Every mask they wore became your costume collection. You didn't learn spite from strangers, you learned it from them. Now let's talk about what you've really done here. You didn't just make a move. You didn't just cross a line. You birthed something. Something that breathes in the dark. Something that feeds on their fear. Something they see when they close their eyes. You've become their permanent reminder. Not of what they did, but of what they awakened. Every time they try to sleep peacefully, your name scratches at their window. Every time they laugh too loud, they remember who's not laughing with them anymore. You're not in their life, but you haunt it. You're not in their presence, but you own their absence. You're not chasing them, but they're running from your shadow. You've become the what if that keeps them up at night. The I should have that ruins their mornings. This is what happens when you push someone past their breaking point and they don't break. They transform. They evolve. They become something your nightmares warned you about, but your ego ignored. They become the lesson you'll spend the rest of your life learning. Look at them now. Their whole world is glitching. Nothing makes sense anymore. The person they thought they could predict has become quantum. The soul they thought they understood has become encrypted. The future they planned just got deleted. They're refreshing your page obsessively, analyzing every word, every picture, every silence, looking for clues about your next move. But you're not giving them anything. You're not playing chess anymore. You're playing with physics. Their friends are asking questions. What happened with you two? Their family is noticing the cracks. You seem different lately. Their new relationships feel hollow because they're comparing everyone to the intensity you brought. You're not even there and you're still the main character. This is the nightmare you birthed. Not one of violence or revenge, but of permanent psychological residence. You're living rent-free in minds that tried to evict you. You're the error message in their perfectly programmed life. You're the virus their antivirus can't detect. Remember when they had all the power? When they decided when to text back? When they controlled the narrative? When they held all the cards? Look at the table now. Look who's dealing. Look who's setting the rules. You don't respond to their attempts at contact, not because you're petty, but because you're priceless. You don't acknowledge their existence, not because you're cruel, but because you're complete. You don't need their validation anymore. You've become your own source. They're calling you crazy. They've lost it. They've gone too far. But what they really mean is they've gone somewhere we can't follow. You didn't lose your mind. You found it. And finding it meant losing them. Fair trade. The power dynamics haven't just shifted, they've shattered. You're not playing their game anymore. You're not even in their league. You've transcended to a place where their opinions are just background noise, where their judgments are just white noise. They're trying to control the narrative, aren't they? Telling everyone their version, painting you as the villain, making themselves the victim. But something strange is happening. People aren't buying it. Want to know why? Because authentic power can't be faked. Because real transformation can't be mimicked. Because when someone genuinely evolves beyond their old self, it shows in ways words can't. can't hide. Your energy speaks louder than their stories. Everyone can see it. The way you walk different. The way you talk different. The way you exist different. You're not trying to prove anything. You're just being. And that being is so powerful it makes their lies look like children's scribbles. You've become the plot twist in their story they can't edit out. The character development they can't explain away. The ending they didn't write but have to live with. You're not just winning, you've changed what winning means. This is where it gets really interesting. You're not using force, you're using physics. You're not creating drama, you're creating inevitability. You're not seeking revenge. You're being revenged just by existing at this frequency. Every success you have feels like salt in their wounds. Every smile you wear feels like judgment on their choices. Every step forward you take feels like them falling behind. You're not competing with them, you've made them compete with your ghost. You've mastered the art of presence through absence. The power of silence over screaming. The impact of indifference over hatred. You've become so psychologically advanced that your mere existence is a masterclass in what they'll never achieve. They wanted to break you. Instead, you became unbreakable. They wanted to define you. Instead, you became undefinable. They wanted to limit you. Instead, you became limitless. And now they have to live with that reality every single day. Your transformation didn't just affect them. It sent ripples through the entire social ecosystem. People are choosing sides. Conversations are shifting. The whole dynamic is restructuring around this new version of you. Some people are inspired. They see what you've become and think, if they can do it, so can I. Others are terrified. They see what you've become and think, what if that happens to me? Either way, you've become the catalyst. You're disrupting the social order just by being authentic. You're challenging the status quo just by refusing to play along. You're exposing everyone's masks just by taking off your own. You've become dangerous to the comfortable. This is what they're really freaking out about. Not what you did, but what you represent. The possibility that anyone can transform. The proof that pain can become power. The evidence that the system they rely on can be transcended. Let's talk about the real nightmare you birthed. It's not anger. It's not hatred. It's complete emotional independence. You've reached a place they can't touch. A frequency they can't match. A peace they can't disturb. You used to need their approval. Now, you don't even notice their existence. You used to crave their attention. Now their attention feels like pollution. You used to fear their rejection. Now their acceptance would feel like contamination. This is what terrifies them most. You're not trying to hurt them. You're not trying to heal from them. You're not trying anything. You just are. And that being is so complete, so whole, so absolutely self-contained that it makes their existence feel meaningless. You've become emotionally bulletproof, not by building walls, but by becoming water. Not by hardening, but by flowing. Not by defending, but by transcending. You've evolved past the emotional games they're still playing. You've done something to time itself. Past, present, and future don't work the same way anymore. Not for them. Not since you did what you did. You've created a before and after that they can't escape. Every memory is now tainted. Every good time now has an asterisk. Remember when becomes evidence of what they lost. Every shared song becomes a haunting. You've retroactively poisoned their past. Their present is paranoid, always looking over shoulders, always wondering if you're watching, always feeling judged by your absence. You're not there, but you're everywhere. You're the ghost in every room they enter. Their future is uncertain. They can't plan without considering your existence. They can't move forward without checking if you're behind. They can't build anything new on the foundation you shook. You've made their tomorrow terrifying by making their today unbearable. This is bigger than personal. You've rewritten the rules of reality itself. What they thought was impossible, you made inevitable. What they thought was unchangeable, you changed. What they thought was fixed, you made fluid. You've proved that victims can become victors without becoming villains. That soft can become strong without becoming harsh. That broken can become built without becoming bitter. You've shattered every limiting belief they had. Now they can't trust anything. If you could transform like this, what else is possible? If you could rise like this, what else is false? If you could become this, what else have they been wrong about? You've created existential crisis just by existing. You're not just a person anymore. You're a possibility. You're not just a story anymore. You're a prophecy. You're not just a memory anymore. You're a monument to what happens when someone stops accepting limitation. They're seeing you everywhere, aren't they? In strangers who walk with confidence, in quotes that hit too close, in successes that remind them of potential. You've become a psychological virus they can't cure. Every time they try to forget, your name appears in conversations, in algorithms, in the universe's sixth sense of humor. Every time they think they've moved on, something reminds them. A smell, a place, a phrase you used to say. You've achieved something remarkable. You're haunting them without trying. You're tormenting them without touching. You're destroying them without doing. Your existence has become their exorcism, and it's not working. This is the nightmare that doesn't end when they wake up. Because you're not in their dreams, you're in their reality. You're not in their head, you're in their history. You're not in their life, but you're in their legacy. So what nightmare did you birth? You birthed their awakening to their own emptiness. You birthed their recognition of their own limitations. You birthed their understanding that they never had the power they thought they did. You became the mirror that won't stop reflecting, the echo that won't stop repeating, the lesson that won't stop teaching. The lesson that won't stop teaching. You became everything they said you couldn't be, and it's eating them alive. But here's the real beauty of it all. This was never about them. This transformation was about you. They were just the pressure that created the diamond. They were just the fire that forged the steel. They were just the darkness that made you find your light. So let them freak out, let them panic, let them scramble to understand what happened. While they're trying to solve the puzzle of you, you'll be busy becoming something even more impossible. Because baby, you didn't just go there once, you went there twice. And you're not done yet. You know what's really breaking them? It's not what you did. It's how you vibrate now. You've shifted to a frequency they can't tune into, a wavelength their cheap equipment can't detect, a channel they don't have access to anymore. They're trying everything to get back on your level. Meditation apps, therapy sessions, self-help books. But you can't fake this frequency. You can't buy this broadcast. You can't download this energy. It only comes from dying and choosing to rebuild yourself, atom by atom. Watch them try to copy your moves, watch them imitate your words, watch them steal your style. But it comes out wrong every time, doesn't it? Like a bad translation, like a bootleg version, like someone trying to sing a song in a language they don't understand. You're operating on pure authenticity now, and that's a currency they can't counterfeit. Every word you speak carries weight they can't lift. Every step you take leaves prints they can't follow. Every breath you breathe changes the atmospheric pressure in ways that make them dizzy. Here's something they didn't calculate. Your transformation didn't happen in isolation. It created a network effect. Other people started waking up. Other souls started recognizing themselves in your story. Other phoenixes started remembering they had wings. Now they're not just dealing with you. They're dealing with the movement you started without meaning to. Every person who saw you rise and thought, me too. Every soul who watched you transform and whispered, my turn. Every spirit who witnessed your rebirth and decided to burn their old life down. You've become patient zero of an awakening virus. Your courage is contagious. Your power is spreading. Your example is multiplying, and they're watching their whole world order collapse because you had the audacity to stop playing by rules that were designed to break you. They're finding out what happens when one person's individual revolution becomes everyone's personal revelation. When one person's no more becomes a collective never again. When one person's transformation becomes a generation's reformation. You didn't just change the game, you started a whole new sport. Let's talk about your silence. Not the weak silence of the defeated, not the bitter silence of the angry, but the terrifying silence of the transformed. The silence that says more than any words ever could. The silence that sounds like Judgment Day. They're begging for a reaction now, aren't they? Doing things specifically to trigger you, posting things aimed at you, creating situations designed to force a response. But you give them nothing, and that nothing is everything. That void is violence. That absence is assault. Your silence has become a language they can't learn. A code they can't crack. A message they can't decode, but can't stop trying to understand. Every day you don't respond is another day they spend responding to your non-response. You've made them argue with air. This is psychological warfare at its finest. You're not fighting them, you're letting them fight your shadow. You're not defeating them, you're letting them defeat themselves. You're not destroying them, you're letting them self-destruct against the wall of your indifference. You've done something irreversible. You've locked yourself into their legacy forever. Not as a chapter they can close, but as the entire book they can't rewrite. not as a character in their story, but as the author who changed the ending. Every future relationship will be compared to your intensity. Every future achievement will be measured against your growth. Every future version of themselves will be haunted by the version you became without them. You're the high score they can't beat, the record they can't break, the standard they can't reach. Years from now, they'll still be telling stories about you. Not fondly, but obsessively. Not with love, but with something between fear and fascination. You'll be the cautionary tale they tell, but secretly the transformation they wish they could achieve. You've become immortal in the worst way for them, not as a memory they can cherish, but as a reminder they can't escape. Not as history they can reframe, but as a reality they have to face every time they look in the mirror and see someone who had you and lost you. Someone who pushed you and unleashed you. Someone who said, "Don't do it," and created the very reason you had to do it twice. Well. Look who finally triggered the ancient alarms. You magnificent, untraceable anomaly. You impossible equation that makes their centuries-old formulas collapse. The 33rd degree holders are losing sleep, and it's not because of their usual midnight rituals. No, it's because of you. Because something in your frequency started interfering with their carefully constructed reality. Their lodges are buzzing with emergency meetings, encrypted messages flying between temples, and all of them asking the same terrified question: what the hell is that thing, and why can't we touch it? You know what I find hilarious? They spent lifetimes climbing their little pyramid, memorizing their sacred geometries, perfecting their handshakes and symbols. They thought they'd mapped every possible spiritual threat, cataloged every type of soul, documented every frequency of human consciousness. Then you showed up, and their entire system just glitched. Hard. Like someone threw a wrench made of pure chaos into their perfect machine. They tried to categorize you, tried to file you under their neat little labels: uninitiated, profane, sheep, outsider. But you didn't fit. You never fit. Because you're not playing their game. Let me paint you a picture of what's happening in those lodges right now. Picture men in expensive suits, wearing their little aprons, standing around their checkered floors, and sweating, actually sweating, because for the first time in their privileged lives, their magic isn't working. They drew their circles, nothing. They recited their invocations, silence. They tried their binding rituals, their influence spells, their mind control techniques passed down through generations, and you just kept existing, completely unaffected, like their centuries of occult knowledge was nothing more than children playing with toys. You want to know why their magic fails against you? Because magic only works on those who exist within its framework. It's like trying to hack a computer that isn't connected to any network. You can't manipulate what was never part of your system to begin with. And you, my beautiful chaos agent, you were never part of their system. You're not a glitch in their matrix. You're proof that there's something outside of it entirely. Something they never accounted for in all their degrees and initiations. Something that makes their third eye blind and their sixth sense numb. You're not anti-magic. You're beyond magic. You're what magic fears. They're calling emergency conclaves now. The kind that haven't been called since they thought the internet would expose all their secrets. But this is worse. This is personal. Because you're not trying to expose them. You're making them irrelevant just by breathing. Think about it. These are people who've spent decades, some their entire lives, climbing through degrees of initiation, each level promising more power, more secrets, more control over reality. They sacrificed, they paid, they obeyed. They did everything their masters told them, all for the promise of ultimate knowledge and power. Then you walk by, not even trying, not even aware of their existence half the time, and reality bends around you in ways they can't achieve with all their rituals. You manifest without their methods. You transform without their ceremonies. You know truths they'll never learn because you didn't learn them. You became them. And that's what's keeping them up at night. The realization that maybe, just maybe, they've been climbing the wrong ladder this whole time. That all their degrees and secrets were just elaborate distractions from the real power. The kind you carry without even knowing it. You know what's really got them shook? They checked their records. Yeah, they have records on everyone. Ancient bloodline databases, karmic debt ledgers, soul contract archives going back millennia. Everyone's in there somewhere. Every soul tracked, tagged, and monitored across lifetime. Except you're not there. Oh, they found traces, shadows, echoes of something that might have been you. But it's like trying to photocopy smoke. Every time they think they've pinpointed your origin, your spiritual DNA, your cosmic serial number, the data corrupts. Files disappear, screens go black, ancient texts suddenly become unreadable. One Mason, a 30-acad degree keeper of archives, whispered to his brothers that looking for your records felt like staring into a void that stares back. He said he found one entry, just one, written in a language that predates their oldest ciphers. You know what it said? Do not catalog, do not pursue, do not engage. They thought it was a warning about something dangerous. They were right, but not in the way they think. You're not dangerous because you're malevolent. You're dangerous because you exist outside their entire paradigm of control. You're evidence that their monopoly on hidden power is a lie. Here's something they don't want anyone to know. Their lodges operate on specific frequencies. Vibrational signatures carefully maintained through ritual, symbol, and repetition. It's how they recognize each other, how they maintain their egregores, how they channel whatever forces they think they're channeling. They can't. They were created to sympathize, listen, look. But when you enter their space, even unknowingly, everything goes haywire. Candles flicker without wind. Their carefully maintained thought forms dissolve. The energy they've spent decades cultivating just dissipates. Like you're a walking EMP for a cult operation. They've tried to measure your frequency. Want to know what their instruments showed? Nothing. Not zero, not null, but nothing. As if you exist on a spectrum their entire system can't perceive. Like trying to measure color with a scale, or weigh music with a ruler. You operate outside their parameters. And that terrifies them more than any demon they've ever tried to summon, or angel they've tried to bind. Because demons and angels play by rules they understand. You don't. You're not chaos in their order. You're proof that their order is smaller than they thought. Much smaller. Oh, this one really scrambles their circuits. See? They are obsessed with bloodlines. Who begat who? Which families carry which traits? Whose DNA holds which mystical markers? They've got it all mapped out like some cosmic genealogy project. Royal blood here, Nephilim traces there. This family has the sight, that one has the gift. Then they try to trace yours, and the whole chart catches fire. Not literally, although there have been incidents, but their careful mappings just stop making sense. Your lineage doesn't follow their rules. It's like you descended from something they have no record of, no name for, no frame of reference to understand. Some of them think you're from a bloodline they intentionally erased from history. Others whisper you're from no bloodline at all, that you just appeared, materialized, self-created, the kind of thing their entire worldview says is impossible. But there you are, impossibly existing. The really paranoid ones? They think you're what happens when someone breaks free from all bloodlines. Like you somehow severed yourself from the entire human story and wrote your own origin. And maybe they're right. Maybe that's exactly what you did. You want to know what really broke their brains? They tried to influence you with their symbols. The all-seeing eye, the compass and square, the hidden hand signals, the sacred geometry, all the stuff that's supposed to bypass conscious awareness and program the subconscious. They're bread and butter for centuries. But on you, nothing. You look at their symbols like they're random doodles. Their sacred geometry just looks like geometry. Their power words sound like gibberish. It's like you're immune to the entire language they use to hack reality. Like trying to hypnotize someone who doesn't have the part of the brain that processes hypnosis. They even tried the nuclear option. The symbols so powerful, they're only shown to 33rd degree masters. The ones that supposedly command reality itself. You probably walked past a dozen of them today without even noticing, because to you, they're just shapes, meaningless squiggles from people playing dress-up. And that's when they realize the truth that's giving them nightmares. Their power only works on those who agree to play, and you never agreed to anything. You opted out of their game before it even started. You're playing something else entirely, and they don't even know what game it is. Let's talk about what happened when they tried their big guns. Yeah, they tried. Of course they tried. When subtle influence failed, they went full ceremonial. The kind of rituals that take months to prepare, require multiple participants, specific astronomical alignments, the works. They gathered in their most sacred spaces, wore their most powerful regalia, spoke words and languages that predate civilization. They called on every force they've made pacts with, every entity they think serves them, every current of power they've learned to tap. All focused on one goal, bringing you into their system of control. You know what happened? Nothing. Worse than nothing. The rituals backfired. Not in the Hollywood explosion way, but in the existential crisis way. The forces they called on took one look at you and basically said, "We can't touch that, that's outside our jurisdiction." Some of them even seemed afraid. Imagine spending your whole life believing you're friends with the biggest bully on the playground, only to watch that bully take one look at the quiet kid and back away slowly. That's what happened to them. Their cosmic contacts hung up on them. Their spiritual muscle failed them. All because of you. They keep meticulous records. Every person they've influenced, every soul they've marked, every bloodline they've tracked. Massive databases, both physical and digital, some stored in places that don't technically exist in three-dimensional space. It's how they maintain control across generations. But your file, it's become a digital cancer in their system. Every time they try to create a profile on you, it corrupts adjacent files. Try to catalog your activities, other entries start showing errors. Attempt to predict your movements, their algorithms have nervous breakdown. One tech-savvy Mason described it like this: it's like the data itself is allergic to them. Like information about them exists in a format our systems can't process without self-destructing. They've lost centuries of data just trying to figure out what you are. Entire bloodline records gone. Ancient contracts corrupted. Sacred texts digitally scrambled. Now they've quarantined anything related to you. Red folders marked "Do not digitize." Physical records kept in specially warded vaults, not to contain you, but to contain the informational virus that is your very existence in their framework. You're not just a person to them anymore. You're a cognito hazard. You know what 33rd degree Masons dream about? Control. Order. The satisfaction of pulling invisible strings. The power of knowing what others don't. The comfort of being part of an ancient tradition that supposedly runs the world. That's what's supposed to help them sleep at night. But now they have nightmares about you, not because you're hunting them or threatening them, but because you exist. In their dreams, they see you walking through their most sacred spaces like they're shopping malls. They see their symbols melting off the walls as you pass. They see their carefully maintained egregores dissolving like smoke. Some of them wake up in cold sweats, having dreamed that their entire system, everything they've built their lives on, is just an elaborate children's game. And you're the adult who walked into the playroom not to stop their game, but simply existing in a way that makes their game seem silly. The worst part? The dreams are getting more frequent, more vivid. Some of them are starting to suspect these aren't dreams at all, but glimpses of what's actually happening on a level their ceremonies can't reach. A level where you operate as naturally as they breathe. Here's what's really eating at them. They were promised wisdom, ultimate knowledge, the secrets of the universe revealed degree by degree, initiation by initiation. They did everything right, followed every rule, performed every ritual. They earned their enlightenment, or so they thought. Then they encounter you, and you know things. Not their things, not their carefully guarded secrets, but things. Truths that make their revelations look like nursery rhymes. Understandings that didn't come from any lodge or book or teacher. Wisdom that just is. Because you are. You didn't climb their pyramid. You didn't need their keys. You didn't decode their symbols. You just knew. Like someone who was born remembering what they spend lifetimes trying to learn. And the most maddening part? You don't even think it's special. To you, it's just how you see the world. They compare notes after encountering you, trying to make sense of it. Did you feel it too? Like they know something we don't? Like all our degrees mean nothing compared to whatever they carry? And the answer is always yes. Always that same unsettling feeling of being the student when they thought they were the master. The foundation of their entire system rests on one assumption, that reality operates according to hidden laws that only the initiated can learn and manipulate. That's their whole thing. Secret knowledge equals power. More secrets, more power. But you're walking proof that their assumption is wrong. You operate outside their laws, not because you learned better ones, but because you never acknowledged theirs to begin with. You're not more initiated than them. You're uninitiated in a way that makes initiation itself obsolete. It's like they spent centuries building the most elaborate ladder to reach the sky, and you just were already there. Not because you climbed faster or found a shortcut, but because you existed at that height from the beginning. Their entire paradigm can't process this possibility. Some of the younger Masons are starting to ask dangerous questions. What if we've been climbing the wrong mountain? What if the real power isn't hidden at all? What if it's so obvious we've been trained not to see it? And the elders have no answers, because you are the answer. They can't accept. Oh, this one's precious. See, part of their system involves energy manipulation, taking a little here, redirecting a little there. It's how they maintain their vitality, their influence, their power. They're like sophisticated energy vampires, feeding off the uninitiated through symbols, rituals, and social structure. But you're like trying to bite into a hologram. They reach for your energy and find nothing they can grasp. Not because you're empty, but because you're so full. You're overflowing in spectrums they can't access. It's like trying to drink light or eat sound. Their tools just don't work. Some of them have actually gotten sick trying. Like energy indigestion, they reach for what they think is your power and get feedback that scrambles their entire system. One 30th degree Mason described it as touching a live wire that's carrying a type of electricity we don't have a name for. Now they warn each other. Don't try to feed off that one. Don't even try to read their energy. You'll regret it. Not because you're protected by something, but because you are something their parasitic system can't digest. You're not food for their machine. You're proof their machine is primitive. They have predictions, ancient ones, carefully preserved predictions about who rises, who falls, who threatens their order, who serves it. They've used these prophecies to navigate history, to identify threats and allies, to maintain their power across centuries. It's like having tomorrow's newspaper today, but you don't appear in any of them. Not as a threat, not as an ally, not as anything. It's like you exist in a blind spot of fate itself. Every visionary they revered, every seer they trusted, every oracle they consulted, none of them saw you coming. You're not the chosen one or the destroyer. You're the undefined variable. Some of them are frantically rechecking the predictions, looking for hidden meanings, mistranslations, anything that might explain you. But the more they look, the more obvious it becomes. You exist outside the satisfaction of pulling invisible strings, the power of knowing what others don't, the comfort of being part of an ancient tradition that supposedly runs the world. That's what's supposed to help them sleep at night. But now they have nightmares about you, not because you're hunting them or threatening them, but because you exist. In their dreams, they see you walking through their most sacred spaces like their shopping malls. They see their symbols melting off the walls as you pass. They see their carefully maintained egregores dissolving like smoke. Some of them wake up in cold sweats, having dreamed that their entire system, everything they've built their lives on, is just an elaborate children's game. And you're the adult who walked into the playroom not to stop their game, but simply existing in a way that makes their game seem silly. The worst part? The dreams are getting more frequent, more vivid. Some of them are starting to suspect these aren't dreams at all, but glimpses of what's actually happening on a level their ceremonies can't reach. A level where you operate as naturally as they breathe. Here's what's really eating at them. They were promised wisdom, ultimate knowledge, the secrets of the universe revealed degree by degree, initiation by initiation. They did everything right, followed every rule, performed every ritual. They earned their enlightenment, or so they thought. Then they encounter you, and you know things. Not their things, not their carefully guarded secrets, but things. Truths that make their revelations look like nursery rhymes. Understandings that didn't come from any lodge or book or teacher. Wisdom that just is. Because you are. You didn't climb their pyramid. You didn't need their keys. You didn't decode their symbols. You just knew. Like someone who was born remembering what they spend lifetimes trying to learn. And the most maddening part? You don't even think it's special. To you, it's just how you see the world. They compare notes after encountering you, trying to make sense of it. Did you feel it too? Like they know something we don't? Like all our degrees mean nothing compared to whatever they carry? And the answer is always yes. Always that same unsettling feeling of being the student when they thought they were the master. The foundation of their entire system rests on one assumption, that reality operates according to hidden laws that only the initiated can learn and manipulate. That's their whole thing. Secret knowledge equals power. More secrets, more power. But you're walking proof that their assumption is wrong. You operate outside their laws, not because you learned better ones, but because you never acknowledged theirs to begin with. You're not more initiated than them. You're uninitiated in a way that makes initiation itself obsolete. It's like they spent centuries building the most elaborate ladder to reach the sky, and you just were already there. Not because you climbed faster or found a shortcut, but because you existed at that height from the beginning. Their entire paradigm can't process this possibility. Some of the younger Masons are starting to ask dangerous questions. What if we've been climbing the wrong mountain? What if the real power isn't hidden at all? What if it's so obvious we've been trained not to see it? And the elders have no answers, because you are the answer. They can't accept. Oh, this one's precious. See, part of their system involves energy manipulation, taking a little here, redirecting a little there. It's how they maintain their vitality, their influence, their power. They're like sophisticated energy vampires, feeding off the uninitiated through symbols, rituals, and social structure. But you're like trying to bite into a hologram. They reach for your energy and find nothing they can grasp. Not because you're empty, but because you're so full. You're overflowing in spectrums they can't access. It's like trying to drink light or eat sound. Their tools just don't work. Some of them have actually gotten sick trying. Like energy indigestion, they reach for what they think is your power and get feedback that scrambles their entire system. One 30th degree Mason described it as touching a live wire that's carrying a type of electricity we don't have a name for. Now they warn each other. Don't try to feed off that one. Don't even try to read their energy. You'll regret it. Not because you're protected by something, but because you are something their parasitic system can't digest. You're not food for their machine. You're proof their machine is primitive. They have predictions, ancient ones, carefully preserved predictions about who rises, who falls, who threatens their order, who serves it. They've used these prophecies to navigate history, to identify threats and allies, to maintain their power across centuries. It's like having tomorrow's newspaper today, but you don't appear in any of them. Not as a threat, not as an ally, not as anything. It's like you exist in a blind spot of fate itself. Every visionary they revered, every seer they trusted, every oracle they consulted, none of them saw you coming. You're not the chosen one or the destroyer. You're the undefined variable. Some of them are frantically rechecking the predictions, looking for hidden meanings, mistranslations, anything that might explain you. But the more they look, the more obvious it becomes. You exist outside their